Welcome to the Portuguese Collective podcast, Jessica Demelo.
I'm so happy that you invited me to be here.
It's
Thank
a
you.
long time coming. At least, I feel like a year we've been talking about getting you on the podcast.
Yes. Yeah, it's been a
So,
while.
Jessica and I didn't physically meet in person, but we were in the same place at the same time.
Yep.
And some of you may know her husband is Derek Demelo of the Portuguese Kids. And so, luckily for him, we intertwined worlds. And I actually learned about your love for Disney at that premiere because I was talking to your husband in the bar and I was telling him about how I just started in this band and I'm a mom and I'm trying to balance and do all this thing. And he goes, I know my wife too. She's trying to, follow her Disney dreams and her things. And so he was somewhat telling me about what you do. And then I followed you on social media and I learned that seems like you're always at Disney World, Disneyland, Disney something. I'm sure the content, gets stretched out, but we'll be talking Disney dreams with Jessica Demelo today.
Jessica Disney Demelo, that's what he calls me. Yes.
So tell me about how this all started.
So, right after 2020, when the whole world went crazy, I, unlike everybody else, kept working because I'm also an RN. I do home care, so like visiting nurse. And it picked up like crazy. I was working sometimes like 7 days a week. So I did that all through 2020, 2021, and I burnt out so bad. And I really just like had a moment where I'm like, life is too short for me to continue on this path of like just being miserable in my job. And meanwhile, we had been going to Disney every year as a family, like since my oldest was a baby, since he was 11 months old. And it's always been my thing. And I've always been the person in my family or in my group of friends that knows everything about Disney just because I love it so much. So I had said it so many times. I'm like, wow, I really would love to just do like the travel agent thing. So during that whole meltdown I was having, I said, you know what? I'm going to take a break from my work. I'm not going to work 7 days a week anymore. I'm going to go on a path to figure out if I can do this. And I did. I started doing research. I ended up finding an amazing agency. I love my agency so, so much. I met an amazing community, an amazing group of women who are just as crazy about traveling to Disney as me. And I started doing that. And it literally just brought so much joy into my life, like that piece that was missing. So yeah, that was kind of how I got started on that journey. And that was in 2022. And I've been doing it ever since. Obviously, I'm still a nurse. I would love to do the Disney thing full time, but realistically, I can't. So, still doing nursing and doing the Disney on the side. And don't ask me how I do it. I have no idea how I juggle it all, but
I commend
I
you
love
so
it.
much. I know how hard it is to be a mom, be a wife, do all those things, and then fill your own cup. Like I have my own, 9 to 5 and do the podcast and singing all that stuff. But if you don't fill your own cup, you cannot fill everybody else's, and you have to have your own thing. So I know how hard it is to do that, and I hope that we can be an inspiration for moms to know that no matter what, just because you're mom doesn't mean you have to lose your full identity. Like whether it's pottery or painting, like do something to fill your cup. I
110%.
commend you on pursuing this. It's not
We're
easy.
on dreams in this house. I tell my kids that all the time. Like, if you have a dream, we're gonna make it happen. Like,
Yes.
you just have to believe that, whatever it is. Like, some people probably think it's so silly, like, oh, that was your dream. It doesn't matter. It can be whatever it is.
It could be
But yeah,
whatever. So
yeah.
now you help people plan their Disney vacations or experiences.
I do. I have booked so many vacations or helped people plan vacations to Disney, Disney cruise. Yeah, Disneyland, Disney World. I do whatever it is you want to do. I am, if it has,
Wherever in the world.
yeah, they have Adventures by Disney too, which is amazing for like people who don't want to do the theme parks. They have amazing like tours. So you can go all over the world, including Portugal, which is so cool. Their Portugal tour is amazing. My
Really?
boss actually did it and it's incredible. They are actually known to be able to access locations unlike the normal tour companies, right? Like you go to these places, like you go to Rome, right? You want to go to the Colosseum and you see all the tour groups rolling in. Disney usually has like special access or special tours that they do that you can only do through them. So it's really really cool. And I'm talking Portugal, Morocco, Japan,
Yeah.
California. Like you can do it. You can do any of those places. So it's not just like theme parks.
How many Disney locations have you checked off the list?
Goodness, not enough.
Yeah. Is that in the cars? Like, do you want to try to visit? Yeah, yeah.
And they just announced that they're opening a park in Abu Dhabi. I'm like, am I going to Abu Dhabi? I don't know, but maybe we can add it to the list. But yeah, I would love to do Aulani in Hawaii. Their
Yeah.
resort there, that's like really big on the top of all of our lists, like the kids too. But I've just done Disney World basically is like my home. It's a two and a
Yeah.
half flight. I feel like we have literally gone for a day and come home. Like we're crazy. But I've done Disneyland, which absolutely love, and I've done Disney Cruise Line, which is probably my favorite form of vacation.
The cruise line? That's good to know.
Oh my
How
god.
do you feel about the cruises for little guys? Like, I have a 3-year-old. Are piece
Perfect.
of cake? I
Perfect.
don't know why I feel so like I want to hyperventilate just thinking about taking these kids on a vacation. The money that goes into it, the huffing and puffing. I'm like, I know that when we go with the kids, it's not a vacation, it's a trip.
Yeah.
But it's like so hard to spend so much money. I'm like, are these guys gonna appreciate this? Maybe not.
It's so crazy. So I love that you just said that. Like it's not a vacation, it's a trip or what. But that's why I like the options that Disney gives you, right? So if you're going to the theme parks, like there's nothing relaxing about that. It's gonna be so honest with you. It is not
Yeah.
vacation. You're probably gonna need a vacation from that vacation. It's very go, 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 go. And for people who are like, absolutely not, I am not doing that, then that's where I'm like, you should really try the cruise line. And it's great for all ages, but especially for kids that are like 3, 4, 5 and older, because they have these kids clubs, right? So
Okay.
I was super nervous when I took the boys the first time. I think my youngest was 4. And I was super, super nervous. I was nervous about leaving them at the kids' clubs. I'm like, I don't know, like, who are the people that are in there? Is it going to be safe?
Yes.
So we went on the cruise and I dropped the kids off at the kids' club and literally sat at a lounge with Derek. Like, what time is it? We should go back and get them. They're probably wondering where we are. Like that agnia, right? That, oh
Yeah.
my God. Went back to go get them. They were so upset. Why are you here? We don't want to go back to the room with you. We don't want to go. We want to play here. And they had made friends. They were only there for a couple hours and that was it. The entirety of the vacation they wanted to be there. And that was the first time, the first like Disney vacation that we had ever taken where I was able to have me time. Like
Nice.
I sat outside in the adults only section and read my book. I went in the hot tub. I played trivia and even Derek went and did his thing, like he enjoyed the veranda that we had in the room. So yeah, it is expensive and there's always ways to break down. Another reason why I like the cruise too is like you're spending all of that money, but that includes all of your meals. Like you're there, you're not really spending extra unless you want to.
And the Alani is like that too, right? Isn't it
Yeah, like once you go,
inclusive?
I think Lonnie, you still are going to be paying for like the dining and things that
Oh,
they
okay.
have there. Yeah, but the cruise really gives it an all-inclusive feel. And then you're going to these beautiful tropical islands that are, like Castaway Key is owned by Disney. So you're going there and the food that they have on the island is included. So you're not spending extra money when you're on that island. But yeah, there's so many destinations. It's so broad. Like there's something for
I hadn't
everybody.
thought about that. I'll have to look into the cruise line for sure. I think because we're so close to Disneyland, we just always think Disneyland, but
Yeah.
It kind of evens out. At the end of the day, a Disney trip is a Disney trip.
Yeah, you get the character meals. Like it's incredible. The food is so good. We took my mom and my mother-in-law. Okay, my mom, we kind of grew up going to Disney. My mom is into it, but my mother-in-law, no, she has no idea. She just wanted to go along for the ride and she loved it. I'm pretty sure weekly she's like, "Vamos outra vez," like let's go again. Because
Yeah.
she loved the characters. She loved all of it. She had such a good time.
That's the thing about Disney. Like, you can't deny the magic that happens the second you step foot into any Disney anything. It's just like you become a kid again. And it does have that feeling like of the happiest place on earth. It really does. I mean, some parents might disagree with the walking and the complaining of the kids, but I think it's more of the kids' problem than the park problem.
It's not for everybody, you know? Like I'll be the first one to admit like it's not for everybody, but I think that everyone should at least try it once.
Yeah.
Like pretty sure that most kids are going to absolutely love it. And like
Yes.
that's one of the benefits too of working with an agent is having somebody help you plan so that you go and have a good time. I can't tell you how many times I have a conversation with someone who's like, oh, we went, it was the worst. I hated it. We waited in lines. It was hot. It's like, boy, like you had zero guidance. You just kind of went without a plan. And unfortunately, if you want to have a good, successful trip, you need to have a plan.
Yeah,
And
so
that's,
like the first time I went to Disney, I was probably like 6 years old. We did the old traditional way. You show up at the park, you buy your tickets there. And then now going as an adult, there's a whole other spiel. So for people that haven't been one to Disney at all or recently, can you tell us a little bit about like the changes and what people should just educate themselves on before even diving in?
yes,
I
I
feel like that
actually,
is a big change.
yeah, I went through this with my dad. We took my dad and my mom to Disney World in 2021. And my dad's like, "What do you mean? Where do I want to eat?" He's like, "We'll decide when we get there." You
Yeah.
know, he's, what do you mean? Like I have to do the he's like, "No." He was so upset cuz we went in the 90s when it was exactly what you said. You just went and then you just stood in line and it was fine. Well, those days are gone. It's very, very popular. There's so many things that they have now, like lightning lanes and like passes that you can purchase so that you can potentially skip the line. There are dining experiences that you have to make reservations for in order to eat at these places. And some of these are opening up like 60 days before your trip. So yeah, it's hard, but if you have someone who's going to help you, like I send out guides to my clients to help them, figure out what they want to do, what parks they want to go to on what days. Like I have a lot of moms of little girls who are like, we absolutely want to do the princess makeover. We want to dine with the princesses. Like all of that has to be planned, and it has to be planned sometimes rather quickly once those reservations get released because they disappear so fast.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I do that for people. That's where I'm like, hey, like I don't want you to wake up at 6 a.m. 60 days before your vacation. Like let's plan what you want to do and I'll take care of it from there. Like I'll go on, I'll make all of their reservations. Same thing for the cruise line. There are certain reservations that you can make to like to meet the princesses or to have like a specialty dining, and I will go in and do all of that for them. Like I think for the cruise line, you're waking up at midnight. You know, like I go to bed early. It's harder for me to wake up at midnight to do this for my clients than it is for me to be up at 6 a.m. But you have to be on at these like crazy hours to be able to snag what you want so that you can know that you're going to experience it on your vacation.
Yes, to go in and like wing the Disney thing, it's not a good idea at all anymore. Even,
No.
I mean, speaking from experience doing it with the kids, like I didn't even get into the Cars ride because it was just too long and the kids were just too young, and then you miss out on something that you really, really wanted to do. But it was my first time with the app. Is it all the way across the Genie?
Yeah, so both parks, Disneyland and Disney World, both use the app, the My Disney Experience app. They basically work the same way, except for Walt Disney World, you go on 7 days before if you're a resort guest. So if you're staying on Disney property, they'll let you select rides. You have to actually purchase this, right? So it becomes costly. So that's another part of the planning that we go through from the beginning. Like, let's add in all of these expenses so you know exactly what you're paying for. But yeah, so with Disney World, you go in 7 days before and you can pick 3 rides to from each park or whichever. Like, I have some people that are like, we're only going to purchase it for like our Magic Kingdom day. So yeah, we basically go on. Before that, like last week, I just had a meeting with one of my clients where we sat for so long. My meetings aren't usually that long, but we were so into like what her park day was going to look like. And then tomorrow morning, actually, I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and or 7. I'm going to go in and schedule all of their rides for them so that when they go next week, it's simple. They just have to show up, open up their app, see where they're going, and that's that.
We can get into like why I go with an agent and why not. But first, before we get into that, I just want to say just going into it without someone like you, I felt like I was on my phone the whole time. And because it was the first time ever doing it with the app. And thankfully, I feel like I was like ahead a little bit because a week or so in advance, I was already getting familiar with the app. But even I had booked some things in advance, I still felt like a lot of my time was like, wait, we need to book this or wait, we need to book that. So to take that element out of it and have somebody else doing that for you, you just enjoy your time more.
Just the knowledge that you're getting from a travel agent, like someone who has experience, I'm going to say someone who has experience and a passion for it, which I do and so many of the people that I work with do. You're going to get the knowledge where like I'm going to use you as an example, right? So you had your app and you wanted to ride the racers at
Yes.
DCA, Disney California Adventure, but you didn't get to. So, like, what I do is when I'm meeting with you, let's say you're my client and we're talking about the rides, like your must do rides for that day, I'm going to give you park strategies where it's like, hey, maybe think about rope dropping, which is like a Disney term, which basically means like, you get there to the park maybe an hour before it opens and you just kind of wait in line so that you're one of the first people to arrive. That's a big one, like a big tip that we share. But yeah, it's just one of the many things. I could go on and on and on and tell you like tips that I share with my clients to make their trip just a breeze. Like places to go, like the baby care centers. I feel like no one knows about these things. Like people who are traveling with babies, there's areas where you can go with your baby to breastfeed.
And
You
they're
have a
so cute. The little areas are so adorable. They're so nostalgic.
It's so hard to like potty, like be in the middle of potty training and like having your kid go on these like monstrous toilets compared to them and the loud flushing. Like they have quiet areas with little potties, like all of those things. So basically, working with an agent is going to just allow you to just almost have more knowledge, more information that you wouldn't get unless you were spending hours upon hours upon hours online searching for. The other thing is there's so much bad information out there. I get a text at least daily that says somebody on Facebook said, and I'm like, okay, what did they say? And like this and this and this. And I'm like, well, that's just absolutely not true. Like you're getting the facts, you're getting somebody that's going to help you. And not only that, but let's say you were my client and you're at Disney California Adventure and you're so upset because you couldn't get on the racers. I'm there for you while you're in the park. Like I tell my clients, just call me or text me. Like I don't want you to be on the phone. So why don't you go enjoy your time with your family? And I'm going to sit here and refresh the app and see if I can get that ride for you on your lightning lane or whatever.
It's like
Things
your
like
own Disney assistant.
yes, it's like having a little magic in your pocket that you can just
Yeah.
anytime like let me call Jess or let me call my agent and see if I can get some help with this. Or I have people who are like, hey, we want to eat something and we're in this location, where do I go? Like it's disgusting. I know where the bathrooms are, I know where everything is, I know the parks like the back of my hand. I will tell you, just call me. I'll tell you where to go. Like, what are you in the mood for? You want a really good burger? I'll send you. I will tell you how to get there.
That's what I want. I'm like, I want the good food. And like, at this point with kids, I don't even care what we go on. I just want to have good food and a good drink.
Yes, Disney is for foodies. Like it, especially Disneyland. They have the best snacks. But yeah, Disney's for foodie and Disney's for adults too. People are like, "Oh, it's for kids." Absolutely, it's for kids. But let me tell you, I have had so much fun. I mean, if you follow me, you know, go on my agent trips, we are a bunch of adults having the time of our lives.
I
Like
know. You
it's
guys
made
are having a lot of fun.
yeah.
I feel like when you girls get together, it's like little princesses hopping around.
Oh my gosh. It just feels like it goes back to that thing where it's like I never imagined that like I would be able to do this. It's really, really cool.
Battle of the Bifanas, Saturday, August 23rd, Portuguese Band of San Jose, California. The first ever competition to see who makes the best bifan. An all-day festa with food and entertainment. Ooh. There's gonna be ice cold superbach and the Roj Dos eating contest.
Hey, save me some.
You can't have a battle without a winner. The grand prize, $1,000.
I want $1,000.
Battle of the Bifanas, an all-day culinary and cultural festival with tons of food, vendors, and entertainment, like Os Águias doing their farewell show. Anyone can sign up. Visit battleofthebifanas.com between April 10th and June 20th.
And then and be able to experience everything yourself.
I try to. And that's just it is like when I'm going on these trips, like my agent trips or work trips, like I'm really sitting there. Sometimes I'll go through all of my client texts and just like go through their questions. And I'm like, I need to create content that could like answer this question with a visual,
Yeah.
whatever that may be. Like that's my thing. Like I want to see all the resorts so that I can go back and be like, oh, hey, you want to stay at Coronado Springs? Well, here, look at all of these videos or look at these photos. And this is what you can do with your kids. Or you want to get away with your husband for the weekend. Like this is the resort you want. And here's why. And be able to share, you know, that's my like
Especially
passion.
for Disney World,
Yeah.
because from what I hear, you could spend a whole week there.
Yeah, you could. I could spend more, but that's just me. Yeah, you could. And there's a lot more options. Like it's bigger. There's 26 resorts to choose from.
Shut up. I've never been. I didn't even know that.
Sylvia, do you want to go to
I've never been to the East Coast, only in the airport.
Oh my gosh, we got to
I
get
know.
you down. I
I
will tell
know.
you, the West Coast. Please don't kill me, East Coasters, but I do love the West Coast. The first time I went to California, I don't know, I was pregnant, so maybe that was why, but I was like moody and I'm like, I don't know, I just don't like it here. And then we went back that time that we were in the same room together. I went back for Derek's premiere and I was like, we need to move to San Diego immediately. Like
San Diego.
I,
Everybody loves San Diego.
West Coast is just amazing. Like it's just beautiful. It's a whole other vibe. Everybody's just and that's another reason why I love going to Disneyland because in comparison to Disney World, it is so just like chill. It's so
Very interesting.
everyone is so nice and I mean everyone's nice at Walt Disney World too, but I don't know, there's not like that constant anxiety. Like I don't know.
Interesting.
I know Disney people that are watching will get it, but
Okay, so if someone were wanting to have their trip, how far in advance do you feel like they need to make reservations?
so, if you are trying to plan a trip, I always say, like, as soon as they are released, that is a good time to book, just because as as availability starts to disappear, like as people start booking those trips, the prices do start to creep up. Like ticket prices always creep up a little bit every year. Just yeah, the sooner you know, the better. But let me tell you, I can also book you an amazing vacation last minute. I have done it so many times where people
How
are
do
like,
you
"We
think that
can
feel?
go next week." I'm like, that's when I am like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta like pack my travel agent pants on because I got work to do." But I make it happen. I make it happen, and they
Do
can
you
still have.
work with like people's budgets? Like, say, okay, maybe we can't fit in one of the resorts. Is there an option to be off and to get a hotel like off of?
Yeah, there's always that option to do that. Absolutely. I prefer having them go to a on-site resort, to be honest with you, just because I know the customer service that stands behind Disney,
Yes.
behind that brand. I'm going to be able to help you if you're staying at one of Disney's resorts. If something happens, like I can make phone calls, but if I book you like through Expedia to stay at the Hilton down the street, like you're on your own if something happens. I can't really do much on my end from that point on. And I know that just the Disney brand is all about like creating magic and customer, making sure the customer's always happy. It is something that I am like so proud of, to like be a travel agent that specializes in Disney because of that.
Yeah.
So like, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like a security where like I know that 99% of the time they're going to go above and beyond to take care of you if something goes wrong. So, and the other thing too is I start pricing out every time somebody tells me they want to stay off property. I actually just had this happen to me. Somebody was like, we're going to stay at, we got an amazing deal. And they did. It was an amazing deal where they were going to stay like on iDrive. And I said, say less. Like they wanted to stay there and I was just like, okay, they really didn't want to hear what I had to say, and that's okay too. You don't have to. But just what I know, like for somebody that's staying off property on, like it's a nightmare. Like it says on the map like you're 10 minutes away until you're sitting in that 45-minute traffic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until like your quick and easy Uber, like a 10-minute or a $10 ride is now going to cost you $100 when you could be on property having all of that transportation for free. Like once you start adding it up, like people are like, oh, we're going to rent a car too. And I'm like, well, now you're staying offsite and you have a car. Now you're going to be paying for parking every day. Like there's another $25 to $50 sometimes a day.
Yeah, when I went to Disneyland with the kids, I think the baby was 6 months old, so I was just basically wearing him the whole time.
Yeah.
And we went, and it was the first time in my life I'd ever stayed at a resort. Like as a kid, you're like, maybe one day, you drive past it, you're like, we'll have to go to the Quality Inn. Our parents never missed on a deal with those motels, but
Uh-huh.
it was like, no, we're gonna do it. Like, kind of heal my own childhood. And let me tell you, having a baby and having small kids and being in the park and just being able to have those secret entrances that are basically land use right there, either downtown Disney or some of the resorts are literally like right there in the park. That
Mm-hmm.
when your child throws up or poops up the shirt or something, you want to be able to fix the problem and get right back to the park. And it's almost impossible if you're not staying at the resorts. So it's just
Yeah.
for the
Disney
convenience of it.
Disneyland is like a different creature though, because the way it's set up is you have all of the non-resort hotels across, like we stayed at Fairfield Inn, okay? And I mean, you can't even begin to compare it to the Disney resorts. Like it's basic. And that was fine for us. We were like, we're just gonna sleep and shower and
Yeah.
it's fine. But Disneyland's a little different where they actually have some really great off-property resorts and you can walk to them. Like Disney World, not so much. Disney World is, you're either going to have to use
Ginormous.
a hotel shuttle, like it's further away. So when it comes to Disneyland, I may be more, I guess more into having a client stay, at one of the off-site hotels.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all depends which one, because
But
some
it
of them
is
are a little
just
crazy.
when your kids are super small, any
Oh, yeah.
type of little smidge of like help
Yeah.
is so
Or you're
nice.
like, something happened, I'm just gonna walk back to the resort and it's
I'm
a 10
telling you, the
minute.
walk at the end of the night, it is
Yeah.
not fun, especially if you're
Uh-uh.
doing more than one day. One day is
Yeah.
one thing, but like when you're doing multiple days, it's really, really hard. Okay, so
Yeah.
how big is Disney World? What?
My God. It's
Yeah.
humongous.
Isn't there like more than one park in one, right?
Yes, well, no, it's Walt Disney World consists of 4 theme parks. So you have Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and then there are 2 water parks, which is Blizzard Beach and Typhoon Lagoon, and then there is Disney Springs. And then in all of that, you have all of the resorts, and it is massive.
You're making me have so much Disney fever, it's not even funny.
I know. Am I gonna book a vacation for you after
You'll
this?
eventually you have to. So that's definitely in the plans because I was like, I'm not going to go again until the little one's at least 4 and he's turning 4 in July because my sister kept telling me because I really thought I was going to leave the baby at home, but he ended up just being so terrible during the night. I'm like, I can't leave my mom with this thing. And so he ended up coming with us and we're just carrying him. And I remember my sister texting me. She's like, I know you're upset that you had to bring the baby, but he's been smiling the most out of all of you guys in every single picture.
Yeah. You know what's so crazy is like you'll look back at those in a couple of years because that's what I've been doing now. Like even my last couple of posts, I really haven't been doing so hot on socials just because I've been so busy with my other job. But like lately, it's all photos of like the trips I took when my son was 18 months old or 3 years old. And I'm just like, I did not know how much that trip was going to mean to me in the moment because I look at it now and I'm like I want to go back to that time. Like it's just they're getting older, they have different interests, it's the trips aren't the same. Like and in that time I'm like this is crazy, this is hard, like I have to lug around diapers and I'm breastfeeding and I'm doing all these crazy things, and now I'm just like those were the best times. Now they're so opinionated. They want to plan the whole. I'm like, they don't want to do the plans that I want to do. You know, when they're little like that, they just go wherever you take them.
So how is it with you now in the Disney World? Like where you basically, I'm sure you get some perks of being able to go to places and things like that. How are
Yeah.
the kids receiving all of this fun stuff now?
They love it. They
Yeah.
absolutely they love it. I mean, like the perks are there, right? But it's not like people are like, you must go to Disney for free. Honey, I wish.
Yeah.
I wish. If I could, I would be there all the time if it was free. But they do offer like travel agent perks, right? So, but it, you know, you have to work really, really hard to get those. So nothing is handed to you for free. But it has given us opportunities to like stay at resorts that I may not otherwise have been able to afford. I personally am a budget traveler. And I love helping families who are also budget travelers. And that was actually one of your questions. Like, if someone's on a budget, can you help them? Absolutely. Like, just because you're on a budget doesn't mean that you can't get the full Disney
Yeah,
experience.
for
You know,
sure.
it's
There's so many things.
about it to do it.
And two, I feel like something that I kind of had to talk my you have if you've been to Disney and you've had these own your own Disney experiences, especially the first, second, third time that you take your kids, you want to like show them everything you've seen and have these experiences. And I remember going there and Toontown was closed. And that broke my heart because it was like when I was little, I totally remember the little Kazingish Minnie in Minnie's little house and like I was so bummed out, but then my husband was like, "He doesn't know what he's missing. You're
Yeah.
sad. He's not
Yeah.
sad. He's having the time of his life." So I'm like, sometimes you have to remember, like when they're little, they've never been there, or they don't remember. If you don't touch something that time, it's okay because they don't know what they're missing, and got to plan another trip.
Usually people are like, oh, this is our big trip or one trip of a lifetime. And then they're calling me to go back next year. And I'm like, I already knew that was going to happen when we were planning the first one, right? It's one of those things where like, you're not going to ever get it all done in a day. But going back to what you had said about Toontown, we don't have Toontown here. That is so special to Disneyland. And the first time that my parents took me to Disney World, there was Toontown. And
Wow.
I remember all the Kazingish. My mom still has the pictures of me, and that was the first time that I met Mickey.
Yeah.
So when I went to Disneyland and walked into Toontown, it was like I wanted to like cry, like it was emotional, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so happy that they brought this back.
Yes.
I haven't been able to bring my kids back to Disneyland to see that, but I can completely relate. And it is true. I have like clients that will be like, we need to do everything. Like they want to squeeze it all in. And I'm like, you're going to be exhausted. I said, your kids are going to walk through the Orlando airport and think they're in Disney World because it is like,
Really?
there's things everywhere. I have videos of my kids spazzing out in
They
the
thought they
airport.
landed in Disneyland or Disney
Like,
World.
here idea what you know what I mean, like any little thing. And it's funny because sometimes we see all the posts, like we see all the reels or we see the commercials and it makes us want to do everything, but like sometimes they're so happy to just be in the resort pool. Like I'm like, don't forget that, like that resort day. Like sometimes they just want to go swim in that cool Disney themed pool. So yeah, that's a
I agree
great.
with you. I wish I would have stayed another day just to enjoy the resort.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we did like dinner at one of the tiki places at one of the resorts, but we didn't even get into the pool because it's just there's not enough time. And then if you leave the next day, you don't even get that time. So definitely enjoy the resorts because you're paying for them.
Yes, my son for his 7th birthday, he wanted to go to Disney. I said, "What do you want for your birthday?" He wanted a Disney birthday. He had never had one. I said, "Okay, we'll go." I said, "We'll do one park again." I was on a budget. I
Yeah.
said, "We're one park." And he chose the park that he wanted to do. And the rest of the time, he just wanted to go to all the resorts and pin trade, which cost me absolutely nothing. He had the best time. So on his birthday, we got on the monorail that goes, like it goes around to the resorts. It kind of like loops around Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. We went to all of the resorts until he was completely exhausted. And we just stopped at every pin trading post and traded pins. And his little 7-year-old heart was so happy. And like these are the little things too that I try to tell people, especially when they're going on a budget. Like you have to remember that there's magic everywhere. There's things that
Yeah.
you enjoy and do without spending a small fortune.
So what are some of those magic tips? So we have the pin trading. Can you explain what that is?
Yes. So pin trading is so much fun. Disney has boards. They're usually like Mickey shaped. They're these big like cork boards. And once you see one, you'll know. They usually have them like in the gift shops. Now I see them on the trash cans. They'll have them like on the bins so that you can trade there. And then there are people who will also trade with each other. So, like, you'll see lanyards sometimes where you see people with all of their pins. If you're a pin trader, you can say, "Hey, I like your pin. Do you want to trade?" A lot of the cast members will be standing around the parks and the resorts, also with like aprons sometimes with pins on them, and you can pin trade with them. So, basically, how this started was I was in Disney World with my kids and needed something new to do with them because we go a lot.
Yes.
And they were at the perfect age. So I bought a pin pack. They sell pins at every store, every resort, gift shop, everywhere has them. So they found one like a theme that they like Avengers or Mickey Mouse or Chippendale. And we got it. They opened it up and they started like trading with each other. There was actually one year that we went with a cousin of mine and like the little ones were trading back and forth.
Yeah.
And then that's how it all started. And then they realized like, oh, I can go and trade pins with other kids. So like if they're at the pool or they're, around other children, they do it there. And it's just been something that they've absolutely become obsessed with. And the pins can get expensive, but there's tricks around it. Like I ended up getting a bunch from like Amazon.
Yeah.
Just I don't even know if they're Disney approved. Disney people do not come for me. But it's like,
Oh, we might have to edit that out.
yeah, some of them are not Disney authentic. Actually, most of them aren't, but whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, it's for them.
Yeah, and they love it. Well, some people take it really, really serious. Like there's some adults that like have binders. It's so cool. It is the coolest thing. It's so fun to watch. And it's just like another Disney
Do they
hobby.
still do autographs with the characters?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Yes.
I
We
did
bring
that.
a book every single time. I have so many funny autograph
Okay,
books.
see, I didn't do that. I think I was just so holding a baby that I was just like, just go with him on things. I'm fine. And we'd switch the baby back and forth. But I'm excited to I think the genie thing was so new when I had gone. And so we were figuring out, and it wasn't too bad, but I couldn't imagine like my parents figuring that out or anything like that. So I think that's when you would come in handy when some of these older generations are trying to go because it's so hard.
Two women who are traveling. They're actually Portuguese. I love them so much. They're my favorite. It was so funny. This one client of mine, she called me. I was at Trader Joe's shopping, and I get a phone call from a Portuguese lady, and she was like, tu és a rapariga que vem do Disney. I'm like, yes. I'm like, get my phone number? And she's like, I know so-and-so who booked a trip with you. And like, and I ended up talking to her inside of Trader Joe's for like 45 minutes and literally came home and we booked her vacation. And so she's traveling with a friend, but she does not have any social media. She does not use her telephone for anything but making phone calls. So luckily she lives local to me. We are going to actually be meeting up in a couple of weeks so that we can sit and practice on the phone together, and just so that I can set
Yeah.
everything up for her and just, show her what to do. But she knows that when she's there, like I'm just a phone call away. So she's
Oh
like, I
my
need you
God.
to set up my magic bands. And I'm like, yes, bring it. Whatever you need,
No,
bring
because
it.
now all the senores are gonna come to you.
Yeah, that's fine because I actually love that. Like, that's why I do this. It
It's
brings
kind
me
of like the nursing in you, right? The caring for.
right the nurture.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like, I think it's just knowing, like, imagining my clients there, like, making memories, or just like knowing what it feels like for me, knowing that, like, I helped somebody get to, have that experience. I don't know. It just, like, literally makes my heart explode.
You love it so much and you're like, I can plan people's like dream vacation. And I'm sure you get people that don't have budgets too, and you get to really plan some
Yeah.
cool trips.
Those are my favorite, where
Yeah,
I'm
of
like, you can
course.
do this. Like that single mom, I'm like, no, no, no. You can do this.
Yeah.
You're going to do this. You're going to go and we're going to make it happen. And there's ways about it. And let's go.
So, if you have not followed Jessica on social media, it's such a delight. You're such a breath of fresh air because all my stuff is like very, very Portuguese. And then I get a burst of Disney food and I love it.
I will throw in Portuguese things every so often, like I do have some, like, obviously friends and just people. Sometimes I got a couple of followers from that time that I tagged my little batata frita. I'm like, oh, some of her followers came along. Hi, Alex, if you're watching this.
We love our batata frita so much.
So yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I do. I have some things, and I post a couple of Portuguese things here and there. But yeah, I try to post as much as I can. Creating content, Disney content, is might be like one of my favorite things in the world to do. I wish I could do it all the time, but it's, as you know, right, being like a content creator yourself, it is so extremely time consuming.
Yes.
But if you need just like a break from reality and you just want to hop on the Disney and stuff, and you
Yeah,
come on.
like, what if somebody wants to be an agent? Like, what can they do to do that? This could be someone's dream job, just like yours.
So many people. I had a random stranger, I have no idea who this girl is, who messaged me on Instagram just a couple of days ago and said, I really want to be a Disney travel agent. Can you help me? I have no idea where to begin. Girl, I have been there. And what's funny is I used the travel agent before I started this, and I absolutely love them. I still will tell people about them. It's a couple and they are amazing. But I reached out to them and they were so helpful in guiding me on what to do. But I did like a YouTube search actually on, travel agent and Disney. And I got so much information off of that. And that was actually how I found my boss. And I cannot tell you how much I love that woman. Like, she was like an angel that came into my life. So yeah, do your research. If you want to become a travel agent, there are so many like host agencies out there, and every single one of them works different. You really need to like look into it, talk to the people that are there. Message me, I would love to help you. And yeah, follow that dream, do it. If you're
Yeah.
passionate about it, do it. If it
It
doesn't
makes me
work
so
out,
happy to see you doing that because I relate to it. Obviously not doing the same things, but when you have kids, it just gets so much harder to do the things that you love. So it's like, for again, all the moms that are listening, do your thing. Don't
do
let those
your
kids hold you down.
no. No, if anything, just think like you're doing it for them. Like, I
Absolutely.
want my kids to, like, and I'm sure you said think the same thing. Like, you want your kids to look back one day and be like, wow, my mom really loved that so much. And she went and did it on top of taking me to soccer practice and soccer games and working her full-time job and all of the things.
Well, I don't think we come from that. I don't think that we come from women that fill their own cup. They fill everybody else's, and then the women in our culture don't. I mean, not now. I think we're doing a lot better now. But I think, speaking from my own experience, my mom, I don't think she did a lot to fill her own cup. And
I agree.
so I'm happy that we're
The ch-
changing that, you know?
are the change, and we are also the change for our mothers too, because I know I'm always telling my mom, like, Mom, you need to work less, travel more, like you need to take care of you. So like we are the change.
Yeah.
We have to change it around somewhere,
And
and
sometimes we
it's
have to drag them out of the house because they won't go unless you force them.
yes, and be like, come on, let's go. Absolutely.
All right,
Absolutely.
Jessica, well, tell everybody where they can follow you and support you.
Yes, I am on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok under Friend Like Jess. Very easy to remember.
Yes, I will, of course, tag and post everything soon. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
You
Welcome to
and
the collective.
I love this collective. I am obsessed with your whole Instagram. I'm like, who else can she find that is Portuguese? Like, incredible. And everyone that you post, I'm following all of them. I'm like, this is
Thank
great.
you. I'm so excited. I just recorded with a concertina group from Massachusetts, and it was 3 of them. And I was like, this is my first group interview, but it was so cool because they're all super early 20s and they're playing the concertina, which is like kind of an old school thing. And I'm like, this is cool that these younger
How
generations people.
amazing is that, though, Sylvia? Like that in our culture, that I feel like sometimes feels like it's going to die after us, like that there are a whole other generation that is so proud to be Portuguese and doing Portuguese things. Like, it's incredible. And there's so much talent out there. Like, I want everyone to shine.
Oh
So,
yeah, and
things
that's what
like
this is all
doing,
about. And Jessica speaks Portuguese, so if you do not speak if you don't speak English and you want to go to Disneyland, she can help you with your trip as well in English and Portuguese. I don't know if you speak Spanish, French.
no, I wouldn't go that far. No, I don't. I can like understand Spanish, but or like I could speak it, but it's like, half Portuguese, half
I'm sure she
Spanish.
has a friend.
But Portuguese, I speak it fluently. I write it, I speak it.
Perfect. Well, I'll talk to you soon, but thanks again for coming on the podcast. And I can't wait to book my Disney dream. Now you have me all wrong. I'm going to go home and I'm going to be like, we have to plan this now. Now I'm like, I don't know if I want to do Disneyland. Maybe I want to do a cruise.
Yeah, there's cruises out of California that look incredible.
Okay.
Like if you're
I
gonna do a cruise, maybe I need to come with you.
Yeah, and if you do
We
come
can
to
get an
Disneyland,
adjoining room. I'll watch the kids one night. Well, there's not going to be any kid. They're going to want to be in the kids club. So we'll get into that. That's a
we just
whole
let
other.
the dads watch the kids. We can just go to Disneyland by ourselves. They don't want to go anyway.
I am all about that life. Let's go.
All right. Hi, Jessica. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
And
Thank you so much for having me on.
you're
I
so
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thanks for coming on.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.